Hi, Eric. It went so well, obviously, at safety for you last year. What did you go into the offseason thinking were areas you need to improve on? And did your play exceed even your expectations once you moved there?
Yeah, there's always stuff to work on, no matter what position you're, how long you play. For me personally, you can always work on, man-to-man technique, press technique. But I know the thing I need to work on was actually run game and run fits. I mean, as a corner, that's not something you see a lot of, and then at safety, obviously it's a lot more prevalent. So I know that's the thing I need to work on. Well, it's tough to work on in the offseason because ain't nobody around. But for this training camp, work on my run fits, and kind of seeing the run quicker than I did last year. But as far as exceeding my expectations of last year, kind of when they moved me there, I just worked on it game by game, and I found it easier to cover, obviously to cover tight ends. Not as quick as receivers in the league. So I mean, some of them are pretty fast, but not all of them. And whichever one I covered, it was just my goal out there to just dominate them.
Hal?
Eric, earlier today, Brian Flores mentioned that it was actually Josh Boyer's idea to move you to safety last year. I'm wondering if he was the one who broke the news to you, and if I were to give you a truth serum, what were you honestly thinking the moment they said safety?
The moment I remember it because it was after the bye week, and it was kind of like a transition. We were playing the Redskins come off the bye week, and not coming off the bye week, but that was the fourth game. And I remember the transition of one because we had injuries at safety, and then two, I guess when I was back there, he saw I have a really good knowledge of the defense, and I was making communication calls, way from the corner spot, way out there, making safety calls way out on the island. And so, it's kind of a mix of like injuries and him seeing that. And then, once I started covering tight ends, it was, maybe just a done deal. So, but, the minute I heard it, I was not thrown back, but I was like, okay, we got to help the team. We were super low at safety. Right now we had some pretty good, we had X and, Nick Needham was, kind of coming on a rise. Like, we got some good corners. So, I moved back there, help the team out, however it goes down.
Cam?
Hey, Eric, obviously this is the second year for a lot of you guys in that secondary. It looked like y'all had a good day today in practice. What's realistic to expect, from you guys as a secondary this upcoming year?
What do you mean realistic?
Like, I guess as far as you guys as a unit, like what you guys want to achieve, obviously building off last year is the first step, but like you guys have goals as a unit of what y'all want to achieve, whether it's pass D, whether it's interceptions, whether it's, whatever you guys quantify as success.
Oh yeah. First our goal is to, gel together because, every year it's a new team, right? So we got new players in the secondary. We got like Noah and Brandon and, Byron and even, whenever X comes back. So our first thing is, we got to gel together. And then our second goal is get the ball. Like this year we're putting a huge emphasis on, getting the ball, like getting the interception, getting the pick, batting the balls, tipping the balls to get a pick, no matter how we got to get it. Like that's our huge emphasis for this year. And, and it starts right now in training camp. And that's, we even got a point board. Like whoever can get the ball out, everybody got like a little point list. And like, so, that's how far we're emphasizing it.
Safid?
Eric, we saw Noah Igbinoghene get some points today, I guess on that list you're talking about there. What are some things that you've seen from him, whether it's working with him over at Bomberitos and even here during training camp now? How much, potential does that kid have?
Oh, he has a lot of potential. He's explosive, strong, quick, And obviously he works hard as hell. I mean, he doesn't care that he's, first round or, whatever round he went. I can tell, you can see in his eye that, he wants to be great from the start. So what I seen from him in camp, I mean, it's hot and tired. He still makes rookie mistakes. I mean, like everybody does, but his, I can tell his learning progression. He's good. He's going to be a good guy in the league.
We'll go to Omar.
I want to ask you, what is the toughest aspect of this transition? I mean, you played safety in college. Is it the film study, the run fits? What is the most difficult part of making that switch from cornerback to safety?
Yeah, the most, even though I did play in college, I was mainly a free safety. So I was in the deep, the post a lot. Didn't really have to deal with, run fits and all that. So when I made that transition, and that was probably the most difficult thing was knowing that, I actually have a gap that I need to fit. And it's not like a corner has like the D gap or the most outside gap, it's easy. Like there's some plays, I have to actually read O lineman, watch the pool, and that happens fast. At the same time, focus on my tight end in case it's a pass play. And so like that's probably the most difficult thing, for me was trying to pick up on the run game, try to understand, fronts, because now I got to understand like, what front is our DN and our, the D line and that corner. You kind of like, I don't really need to know that because I'm on the island. But now it's safety, like I have to know which front we're in, which gap I have. If the if the O-line pulls and my guy flashes, I have to get to this gap or it's going to be gaping hole and all that. So that's probably the most difficult thing when I had to transition.
David?
Eric, this is the second year you're playing defense on this team, along with the teammate of yours, Vince Biegel. What are some things that Vince, brings to the table as far as a teammate and a defender on the field?
He brings energy every day, consistent. I mean, even last year when we traded for him, he brings energy every day. He can be gassed out, but he'll still go 110% on the field. I mean, and that's what we need. And, everybody sees it, and we all know how hard he works. And, that kind of, it's a trickle-down effect. So, him and, second year on the team, I mean, it's the same as last year. He's consistent, bringing the energy, all day.
Got time for one more. We'll go to Kyle.
Hey, Eric, you've talked a little bit about today working closer to the line of scrimmage this season and knowing that was going to be on your plate. Did your off-season training have a little bit of a different focus this year coming in, knowing and understanding that was going to be a more prevalent part of your usage?
No, because it's tough to train, run fits, the off-season. I mean, I can't ask 4 or 5 guys, hey, you pull, you block down, you do this, you do that. So my off-season training was working on my man technique, press, because I know that's like 90% of our defense playing man. So I just kept with the same, kind of off-season training, just working on my feet, working on my hands, working on my route technique. And then I know usually it's supposed to be OTAs, but now this year's training camp, working on a lot of run fits, kind of seeing a run quicker, working on all that.